Welcome to the Transfer Talk special as we are just over 24 hours from the window closing. We got so much to talk about, all the videos we've done today, all the players linked, and those players that are very close to getting over the line. And is Steve Cook going to be leaving this transfer window? Welcome to Forest Fan TV. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Whatever time of day you're watching this, hope you're having a fantastic day. And welcome to FFTV's very own Transfer Center. We got so much to talk about, but today's stream is about getting your guys' views. We'll be putting a link up in the chat for you guys to jump in. We're going to be interacting with your messages. We got a special guest coming on at 9 o'clock. Some guy that you guys have been requesting for a few weeks now. We've made the time for him. Martin, it's good to see you. How are you, buddy? Evening, Joker. Hope you are well. Who else we got in here? Stony, as always, good to have you on board, buddy. Andy, good to see ya. Let's get the hellos done. Keep them. Is that it? Is that it? We got more than that. We got more than that. There we go. Brinley, how are you doing, Brinley? Brett, good to see you. Come on, you Reds. Hope you are well. Marcus, good to see you. I think you need to buy. No, we're not taking Navarro, bro. I wasn't born yesterday. Red Dog, good to have you on board. So much to discuss. Where do we even start, guys? Shall we? Well, firstly, hi to our esteemed colleagues, Dino and Forrest. Dan, how are you boys doing?
Good, yeah.
Good, mate.
Really good.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to this stream. And tomorrow, we will be live all evening taking you guys through. We've already got 160 of you in here. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Let's get this trending around YouTube. We're going to be covering off Shelvey, Felipe, Gabriel, Brenner, Sayas, is that how you say him? Navas, Spence. And we will talk about Steve Cook, whether or not Dino wants me to or not. Tough, we've got to talk about it. But more importantly, we want your feedback in here. So I think the first thing I want to do really is just get everyone up to speed. We've done about 6 million videos today on the transfer news. So some of you guys may have seen a couple, none, or all of them. Just want to do a quick synopsis. And really, Dino, if I start with you, I just want you to give us a run through. If we go from closest to furthest away, and we'll just take them one by one, and then chat, we'll start getting your opinions on these players. So Dina, as it stands, who seems to be the closest in terms of getting over the line?
Well, the closest is obviously Shelvey. It's been announced across the board and, medical complete, I believe.
Yeah.
He's the closest. I mean, split the fan base, really. Could he do a job at DLP? The CDM position as a deep line playmaker? Maybe. Injuries a problem? Maybe. Sending's off a problem? Maybe. Could he be what we need? Maybe. Who knows? But, he's of an age now. It's a bit of a strange one, that one. I think
Did
the next
you see
one
what
is...
his brother tweeted? Or his sister? No. Did you see it, Ant?
What's that? Sorry, mate.
What his brother or sister tweeted?
Whose brother?
Shelvey.
Sorry, I was busy. No, I didn't. I don't know why I asked you, because no, I didn't.
Well, they said, really happy about my brother signing for NOTTS Forest.
Yeah.
And I was like, way to win the crowd over off the bat. So that one surprised me a bit.
I did see that. That stuck out in my memory. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that stood out. But we'll forgive him. It wasn't him saying it. Sorry, Dean, I cut you off. I just had to mention that.
That's okay. What's this about Yates? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, look, what we'll say about Ryan Yates is
just drop onto that for a second.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that until there's an official club announcement on it. We love Ryan Yates too much, and whether or not we love him, to be honest, when you're talking about someone's health, you got to pay it the respect. This isn't like an injury. Yeah, this is something medical. So it's not respectful to sit here and just discuss it and speculate over it. For this one, look, we've heard all the stories. We've had people telling us things left, right, and center on it. Once it's official, then we will share it. But right now, all we do is hope that he's okay, and there's,
much love to him.
he's definitely getting the best treatment and what have you. And let's just hope and pray for the best for him. And because there's nothing to be gained by speculating about this. It isn't like a Niakate injury or something like that. This, sounds like it's quite serious. So let's pay him the respect that he deserves. He is one of our own. He always will be. So I don't want to discuss that right now. I hope you guys in the chat understand, but let's wait till something's official. We can speculate and have fun about the transfers and everything, but when it's serious about health, let's just pay it the respect it deserves. Anything you guys want to add to that?
No, just hope he's okay. Just waiting for something. There's going to be an announcement. I saw a tweet earlier that there's going to be an announcement from the club. So I don't know.
All right, okay.
Doesn't sound great, does it?
Let's just hope and pray he's all right, because he's a cracking lad. So let's just hope he's all right.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Matthew's saying there, thoughts and prayers to Yatesy. Of course they are. Look, not just for Yatesy, but anyone who's going through any pain and suffering. Let's always wish him the best. So, okay. We'll address that when it pops up. If it pops up during the stream, then of course we will discuss it. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, and it's the transfer stuff. And how are you feeling on Shelvey? We discussed him a lot last night, but this one is pretty much over the line. Medical done. Cooper talking about him today. How are you feeling about it now you've had a night to sleep on it?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same. It's all about the injuries, isn't it? I mean, there's no doubt. Well, there's no doubt in my mind anyway. He's a quality player. He's got beautiful passing ability, and he's a tough he's a tough guy as well, and he gets about the pitch. But to do that, you've got to be fit. So that literally is my concern. If he had no injury concerns, I think that's a really intelligent signing. He's had a lot of experience. He's played a lot. I think he's played 300 Premier League games. He's not a dud, but the spectre of the injuries over him, and that's my concern, the injuries.
Dino, does it worry you that he's coming to his medical carrying a hamstring injury? I mean, isn't that like an alarm bell should be going off? And chat, get your thoughts in, please, on Shelvey. We want to start talking about Shelvey and getting you involved in this. Omar will put the link in the chat in a second as well, so if anyone wants to jump on, they're welcome to. Yeah, but Dino, on that point, isn't it a bit Omar Richards-like?
It could be with some of the medical analysis that we've had from the City ground so far this season. But, hamstring is a hamstring. It's not major. I would be more concerned if he's had like 3 broken legs.
Unless it's Niakate.
Exactly. Literally what I was going to say.
Yeah. So he'll get over it. He's a strong lad. And he could be good, He could be good. I'm more excited. No, it's excited the word. I'm more positive about him than Wood, I have to say. Because he does have, he gives us something that we don't have. I know we talk about Freuler being this great conductor, but this guy's got long range passing. Although it does annoy the Newcastle fans sometimes when they go astray, he's got a good deep line playmaker role in him, where he's good in the tackle, he's good in the bite, and he can get a pass going to one of these amazing front 4 that we've got. 3, depending on what he's playing.
Is that where you see him fitting in, Dino, in that Freuler deep lying position, not kind of box to boxy in what he's going to be playing?
Yeah, I would personally. I think recently he's dropped into that deep line playmaker role, hasn't he? I don't know whether he's as mobile as he once was, but he's still a fit lad. He could do both. But we've got a Richards now in midfield, haven't we? Really, from 21 to 30 odd year olds throughout the team, we've got a really strong midfield now.
Yeah, and do you agree with Dino's surmise? What's the word?
Synopsis.
Summary. I'll go with summary there. Oh God, I had a moment like someone else does usually. But do you think that's where he sits? Or do you see him a bit more advanced? Because he's kind of got deeper as he's got older, hasn't he?
Little, not always. Sometimes, but no, I do see him more as a box to box I mean, the thing is, we've got Danilo's, I would say, is box to box. Yeah, it can play DM, I admit that. We've got Freuler, who I don't really consider a DM anyway. I'd prefer him further up the pitch. So it's kind of difficult. We've got 3 players there that can really, but all 3 of them can play both roles, the box to box and defensive midfielder. So it gives us a nice little chance to change things around a little bit.
Yeah, change the pace a little. Let's see what the chat is saying on this. Before we do, there's nearly 300 of you in here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We barely got warmed up yet. 72 likes. Please keep hitting that like button. Spread the word. And also the link is pinned in the chat. Come in, have your say. We want to hear what you are saying. On the actual vote, it's heavily in favor of on the fence. I don't actually mind that opinion on the fence, because it's not a flat out no, it's not a flat out yes. I feel the guys, and just tell me if you have gone for on the fence in the chat. Are you kind of saying with that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but let's wait and see how he performs really. Judge him after he's played rather than before. So, 31 are saying definitely yes, and 29% are saying no. So it's quite split in terms of the percentages, which is quite interesting. Let's bring up some of the comments on what people are saying on Shelvey. Chimpzilla here, he's saying he's a class player with Prem experience. It's what we need as a newly promoted team. Hank saying, seems like we finally found the bottom of Marinakis' pockets with Wood and John Joe. So we're seeing like both ends of the spectrum here. Visual saying, Shelvey is a very good player, but he's injury prone. However, he's a captain and can teach youth a lot. What I would say about that, he isn't really injury prone. He's just had a horrific season this season with an injury. Over his career, he's never really been much of a sick note. But I get what you're saying. Could this be like now turning into a bit of a sick noter as he gets a bit older? And he is about to turn 31, isn't he? Martin's saying,
I am.
huh?
He's ancient, isn't he, Ant? 31.
Don't start with.
Oh,
Don't
to be
start with the
31 again.
31. It's just like
He's the
31
calf of a career, man. Martin's saying,
to new 70, is it in your mind?
it feels like, well, as a 21-year-old, it would come across like that to me. Martin's saying we need 2 controlling DMs and pace up front. That sounds like a good combo. And Richard's saying, how did he pass the medical? Must have been the DWP doctors passing him fit for work. It is. I mean, there has been many medicals done in the past where the player has gone with an injury. As long as the injury, what they're really looking for in a medical is that there isn't an underlying, condition, maybe a heart condition or something in the chest or what have you. Or in the case of Omar Richards, they just completely ignored the legs. Stoney saying, my first on the fence. Oh, he's finally joined Ant on the fence. And Martin saying Scarpa will play number 10. We will touch on that because MGW is out. That's been confirmed today. Breaking news for you guys who haven't heard it. So yes, Scarpinio will probably end up in the 10. Townsend's on the fence. Bobby's saying, did we get a centre-back yet? What the fuck? We'll come on to centre-backs. There is one very, very close to signing as well. Let's bring up a couple more comments and I'll bring you boys back in. Southpaw, good to see you in here. Steve-O's saying he's a bit worried about his fitness level. And how much did we pay for him? As far as I'm aware, it's still an undisclosed fee. I do know that we've bumped his wages up to sweeten the deal for coming over to Forest.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, and also we're extending his contract. So just a quick reminder to you guys, Shelvey needed to play 2 more games for Newcastle to trigger the 1-year extension on his contract. Otherwise, his contract was coming to an end at the end of this season. What we've done is offered him a bit more long-termism with the contract. Is it 2 years? Do you know about that on the contract?
On Shelby, sorry, I've got like 2 screens open here, just looking at the different news coming in. I think it's 2.5 years, yeah.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So rest of his season and then 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
Yes. So for him, he's getting a bit of long-termism. And what I want to ask you on that is, do you worry, again, you're going to say ageist, yeah? But do you worry in a year and a half's time, we're going to end up with a bit of a Harry Arter on our hands who's just decaying in the background, surplus to requirements, and we can't sell him?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a danger of that, but in a year and a half's time, he'll be 32. So that's not old for a modern day professional footballer if
33.
they've looked after themselves. Well, when's his birthday? Do you know?
Yeah, it's coming up. He's going to be 31 pretty soon.
Yeah, so in a year and a half time, how can he be 33?
All right, clever clogs.
Just saying. So he's going to be 32, which, I'm sure that providing he's stayed fit, if we want to move him on, we'll be able to move him on. I don't think, unless an injury stops him, I don't see that as being an issue, to be honest. Because you know what footballers are like these days. Just look at how long they can carry on for, providing they avoid injury. So, yeah, I think I'm not too worried about that. Not only that, at the end of the day, it's this season that counts. To be honest, we pay.
I think he's a bit more professional than Arta, though. To be honest,
in
terms of a professional player. Attitude,
I think he wants
commitment.
to play football. He wants to play football, doesn't he?
I agree.
Yeah, I don't see that being an issue.
There's a lot of... Gone.
Sorry, but as I say, it's this season that counts. If he played a part in keeping us up this season, a significant part in keeping us up this season, and never played for us again, it'll have been worth the investment.
Yeah.
So that's where I look at it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of interesting remarks coming in the chat. I just want to bring a few of them up. Richard, yours it is always interesting, but yeah, are we doing this tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow we'll be taking you through all the way to deadline day. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. I don't know what time we'll start, probably like 8 or 9. It depends on how crazy things get. Oliver's saying, hi guys, Shelvey is a good, decent signing with bags of experience in the Premier League and a good January transfer window signing. So Oliver's one who's not on the fence, or he's a Newcastle fan. I can't remember which one you are, Oliver. Apologies. Attitude Era is saying, typical Nottingham Forest sign. All the players you should have signed players aged 28 or younger. You're shaking your head there, Dino.
I'm sorry. Look, Richard, the walking boom. Did it get my yellow tie? No, I didn't have time today.
But are you shaking your head towards this?
Might see if there's somebody walking by with one on and just
nick it. Yeah, just nick it. So what are you saying to this one then, Dino? Do you agree with that Attitude Era saying?
Sorry, I didn't know. I'm just laughing. I was laughing at Richard, the walking boom's comment. Sorry, what was it?
So it's right there on your screen, mate. It's right there on your screen. He's saying we should be signing. He should be signing 28 and below rather than going for this experience. Do you agree with that?
It's okay. It's an okay signing for me. Good experience, been there, done it. Played for Liverpool, people like that. It's obviously a bit of a cult hero at Newcastle. I think it's good for the younger members. I do. I think it's a good mix. I think that's what Cooper's looking at, because we have got, some young uns in there. You're counting Jono in there as well, that's been around the club for a long time. He's only 21. I think it'd be good for all these players.
That was the Thai one. Okay. Richard, or should I call him Ant Fanboy, says, quite right, Ant. Shelvey's going to keep us up this season. Richard is a proper Ant Fanboy right there, isn't he? Chimzilla's saying, hello, I laugh my ass off. Ant loves Antelect. Oh,
I want to talk about Anderlecht in a bit. But
you want to have your say as well, do you?
Later, later.
Yeah. Hank says, the big pessimist in me makes me think that we're making this signing and the chance that we don't stay up this year. I don't agree with that one. Not with Shelvey. Although he has played for Newcastle in the Championship, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. He had a fantastic season for him in the Championship, but that's not the reason we've bought him. No, just look at everything else we're buying. We haven't bought Danilo in the thought that we're going down. We've not got Scarpa in the thought that we're going down, etc. It goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Liam's saying he's actually had a terrible injury record over recent seasons. It's terrible. Is it bad?
Yeah.
It strikes me as being pretty bad, if I'm honest. If I think of Scarpa, if I think of Shelvey, I think of injuries, to be honest.
We might never see him in a Forest shirt. You realise that once our guys get hold of him.
Omar Richards style. Who knows? There's so many interesting comments coming in. Charlie saying, if Shelvey ceases to be Premier League quality, fallback option will always be a move to Olympiacos.
Yeah.
There's always the fallback, isn't it? I mean, can we get Harry Arter out there, please?
You know what? He is absolutely not in the same stratosphere as the guy I'm going to mention, but there's a guy that's absolutely vital to a club at the top of the table that has had a really bad injury record, and everybody's like expecting him to be injured. Thomas Partey, I'm talking about. I expect him, and I think he's missed one match this season so far. Now, that's not to say that tomorrow he couldn't pull up, but so far, he's had a shocking injury record for Arsenal for 2 years. But he seems to have got over it, and he's playing fine now every game. They're still worried about it, obviously, like we would be with Shelvey, but players can get over injury periods. It is possible. Let's hope anyway.
But he did go off injured in his last game, but he's fine apparently.
Yeah, but it's fine. Yeah, it was a rib injury. You can't really count that, can you? To be fair.
Wake up! You're asking about Brenner and Gabriel. They are on our list. We've got so much to talk
Let's
about.
crack on then. Let's
crack
move
on in this. We want to do kind of some quick, sharp bursts. So the end of the poll: 38% of you were on the fence. 36 say yes to Shelvey, and 26 said no. We've got over 300 in here and 110 likes already. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. And let's move on to the next signing. Let's keep it over 30. And Dino, tell us where we are with Felipe at the moment. Felipe is an interesting one.
Felipe's really accelerated today. It seems as though contracts have been exchanged. We just posted something up on the High Press Twitter account earlier. Bayer Leverkusen were also in for him at some point, but it seems as though we've got the deal done there. He's for people that don't know about Felipe, he's a centre back from Atletico Madrid. He's another older player. He's 33, but his contract's up in the summer. Obviously, we're looking for pace at the back, aren't we, in central defence? But he's got great position and he's good in the air. But he's kind of fallen out of favour with Diego Simeone this season. So he's only done 4 appearances this season, so he might come a little bit unfit. He's been an unused sub for most of the season so far. Ironically, he lost his place to Mario Hermoso. Remember when I was tweeting that out?
We were linked with him.
Yeah, we were linked with him. He lost his place to him, so who knows? But he looked, I've seen quite a few videos of him. He looks decent. He looks strong. He is. I mean, he's the one that was going to be at the City Ground tonight, I believe.
Yeah, from what we were hearing,
there earlier,
that was going to be the case. We had Dino down there, knocking on the doors, getting in with them in the No Dino. Andy's saying we will stay up, I am sure now, but let's hope we can find room for some of the youngsters next season. Can't keep throwing money at the team. I think that kind of relates to the point, and you've made this quite a lot this season, that let's focus on the players we need now to give us that Premier League stability. Get to the end of the season still Premier League, and then we can talk about how we develop youth in and everything like that. Is that kind of your philosophy still, Ant?
I think that's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, the main thing is to stay up. And I've said from day one with the squad that we'll stay up, but and I'm just as confident, if not more so now, especially with the players we're bringing in. I don't worry too much about some of these older players we're bringing in because Mr. Marinakis will develop the squad. So, what?
We buy who we want.
I love it when you call him Mr. Marinakis.
He will develop. That's respect. He will develop this squad. So yeah, this season we stay up. Next season we progress. We can afford then to perhaps get the odd, 30 million pound youngster. We're not going to do that, or it's not advisable to do that in the situation we're in right now. It's a dangerous game because sometimes 30 million pound youngsters take a little time to develop, and we have not got that time. We need to stay up. But I think that's the plan. So going for more experienced players at the moment is not necessarily a bad thing to do, is it?
Yeah. It's interesting what Adam's saying here. Horrible transfer window for Forest apart from Danilo. CB and goalkeeper, totally wrong personnel looked at. I kind of know what he's saying. I don't fully agree with it, but it is interesting because we all know that centre-back wise, we needed pace. Now, Felipe isn't a pace merchant. He's shaking your head, Ant.
Easy.
Huh?
It's not easy. It's not easy to go out and buy a fantastic centre-back. It's not easy.
I didn't say a fantastic centre-back. I said a pacey centre-back.
Well, even so, it's not. It's not. All I'm saying is, it's easy. It's very easy for us as fans to say, "Go and get him. Go and get him." Sometimes clubs don't want to let players go. Sometimes players don't want to come. Sometimes they want too much money. It's not that easy just to say, "Yeah, we should go out and sign all the a pacey young centre back who's dominant in the air." And that. It's not easy. There are a lot of clubs after him.
Maybe you're right. I mean, maybe pace is the wrong word. I've mentioned this before on streams where I've talked about the agility of a centre back. You look at the Harry Maguires of this world that turn like a barge, and I think we've got the same in our current squad at the minute. But maybe it's not.
And let's face it, up here.
Yeah, maybe he's
head.
been able to turn with these quick attackers because we've got now pace up front, and if we've got the likes of Scarpa, Danilo and Shelvey, who can all pass a ball. Yates not necessarily a great passer, but those three are great passers of the ball. We're just pinging it out to the runners, and if we've got the fast runners, then do we really need to be pushing that high at the central defence?
Well, yeah, you do. You do, because you don't want gaps in between the lines. That's the key thing. And the only way you cannot have gaps and hold higher up the pitch, especially at the City ground, is if you can trust the centre-backs to hold a line and be able to recover the gaps in behind them. The prime example for me was when we played Leicester. And Leicester were pinging the ball over the top of Cook because we tried to play a high line. That's the problem for me with that one.
Yeah. No, fair point.
Yeah. Although you can attack from further back. I mean, if you've got fast strikers, you can attack from further back. You don't need to be further up the pitch because you've got those speedy, almost on the counter attack.
Yeah. So it's just a debate. I'm just interested in what the guys are thinking in the chat. So, Dean here saying, "Hi, all Wolverine. My fiance is a big fan. Could you give her a shout out? Could you shout out to her, Mandy? Yo, Mandy, what is up? Hope you're doing well. Looks like you got a handsome young chap in. I'm just looking at Dean's profile there. So well done, Mandy. You've picked a good fiance there. Good luck to you guys.
It's in the name.
It's in the name, is it?
How you doing, bro?
Dean, change your name to Dino.
Broski.
Shave your hair off and put some glasses on. Yeah, but yeah, big shout out to Mandy.
Hang on a sec. Can you go back to that comment?
Yeah,
from Dean. Did you get that right? What did you say?
Oh, I did it the wrong way around. My fiance's a big fan. Could you give a shout out to her, Mandy? Yeah, but the name says Dean.
It's Dean sending the chat in. His fiance's name is Mandy. Can you give her a big shout?
That's what I just did.
Yeah, that's what you just did.
The other way around.
No, I didn't.
You did it the other way around.
I didn't.
How long have you been away? 5 minutes. Seriously.
I'm gonna play.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Did you buy Wood or was it a loan? Wood was a loan with an obligation to buy based on certain conditions. So that's what we did with Wood. Okay, I want to rattle through the other couple, and then we've got some guests waiting backstage. We see you there, bro. We'll bring you on in a sec. I want to move on to the next player. So, Dino, if we're going through the order of who's next most likely, who would you put at number 3 currently?
Well, earlier on today, it was Angelo Gabriel from Santos, who produced the likes of Pele and Neymar. He's 18, so he's at the other end of the scale than Felipe. But Brenner seems to have taken over, so I don't know who you want to talk about first.
Let's do them both together.
Both are likely. Both are highly likely.
Just give us a little synopsis on both of them for the guys in the chat who may not know them from obviously the South America.
Yeah, so Angelo Gabriel is 18. He's been playing from the age of 16, I believe. He's had like just over 100 senior caps for Santos, 12 goal contributions. He's had 6 caps for Brazil under 16. Looks like it's an £18 million deal for us. Other clubs that are interested in Newcastle, ironically, they had a £22 million bid rejected before Forest bid came in. So that's a bit weird. He plays on the right wing, so kind of Jono's position. Not quite as much pace as Jono, but he's still pacey, but he's a much better dribbler than Jono. He's got a trick in him as well. So, decent looking player for 18. Good future. Falls over a bit easy though, I have to say, which a bit like Jono, I suppose. He'll go down easy on a challenge, but he is strong, but he'll still go down easy.
And on the other dude, the other Brazilian we got linked to?
Well, the Brenner, I was going to talk about Brenner because he's probably the most likely. He's a striker. He's currently at FC Cincinnati. The only source I can find at the minute is a journalist in the US called Tom Boga, and he seems to be, his story's kind of doing the rounds with the news sources. But this guy is a proper poacher. He can play as like a false nine, but really he's a fox in the box. Last season he got 32 appearances, 18 goals, primarily as a striker. Good on the ball, both feet. He's not really physical or tall, but he's fairly strong.
Yeah, he's 5'9",
really
isn't
finisher.
he?
Yeah, he's a good finisher, skillful, acrobatic. Again, he's got a showboat trick in him. He seems very composed, and yet another penalty taker. So if we ever get to penalties in a semi-final of a cup, I think we're nailed on.
Yeah. And on Brenner, there's been reports, again, the sources aren't great, yeah, but there's been reports that he's done the classic go on strike to force the move.
Yeah, I see that.
How do you feel? Like, let's just not even pretend we're talking about him now. I'm just interested in your thoughts on it generally. And you guys in the chat, let me know what you think. How do you feel about players who go on strike to force a move? Is it something we saw at Gordon just in this transfer window going to Newcastle? If this is a player that's doing it coming to Forest, how do you think you kind of feel about that?
To be honest, I'm not that comfortable with it. I don't think a player needs to do that, really. He can players and players' agents can get things out into the press without actually being blatant about it. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to go and put an Instagram post or anything like that. They've just got to let their agent leak it to a tabloid or something, and it'll get out. This player wants to go without him having to say anything publicly.
Yeah,
that's the way it's traditionally been done, and that's the way I think is better, because it doesn't help anybody. It often doesn't help the player. I mean, look at Mudryk, for example, twerking all year for one team, and then last minute, because he can't get that team, goes to another. How do the fans feel about that? If a player's doing it for us, you think, yeah, that's great. But also in the back of your mind, it's a bit like, it's a bit like having an affair with somebody, isn't it? You think, well, hang on, they're having an affair with, so they might do it again when they're my girlfriend. So you've got to be a bit careful, haven't you? And I don't like it, in short. I won't go on.
Yeah.
Can I just bring up a couple of comments?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go on.
Hold on 1 second. Brett, the two different positions, my friend. So, yes, they'll probably be looking at bringing in both. And then there was another one that saw...
You lot are loving the rainforest comment, aren't you guys, in the chat? I'm seeing them all. I'm seeing what Matthew's saying, what Adam's saying.
There was something from Keith, but it's not that one. I don't like it. Where was it? Keith.
Well, Martin's saying it's morally wrong, but it's agents for you. It is the advice they're getting, isn't it? Or could it be them doing it off their own bat? Go on.
Yeah, I've lost the comment, but it was about MLS though. Sorry for the person that put it. I'm really sorry. MLS, yeah, and it's the change in leagues, isn't it? So you never really know until they get in your league, because some leagues are weaker than others. So you never really know. But he's got all the attributes, and he's got a good touch, and you see some of our old stars going over to the MLS anyway, don't you?
Yeah,
doing fairly well.
They do,
can still do a job. So you never know. Every transfer's a risk, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Absolutely. Yeah. Adam's saying, Dino, you support the Panthers. I see. I also support them and often go to the games. Brilliant. I can't see the puck, man. I'm not interested in that stuff.
No,
all right.
I've been trying to get Wolverine down, guys, but he's just not interested.
No, thank you. I'm good. All right. You guys have been asking for a certain guest back on this show for a while. We've talked to his agent. We've agreed fees. Medical has been done, and we've been able to get him back in full HD. Ladies and gents, Welcome back to the stream, the one and only NFFC GOAT. Let's get him on the stage. How are you, my brother Salem? How you doing? Whoops. Hold on, I've got you muted. There you go.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
We're good, man. How are you? It's long time no speak, long time no see. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I know a lot's happened. The last time we spoke, we were in relegation, and I was going absolutely ballistic, and I think I lost all my hair at that point. So
You and me, brother.
yeah,
It's growing back. It's growing back below your chin.
yeah, literally. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like quite optimistic about Forest now. I feel like it's been a roller coaster, and I'm just happy. I guess you know what, I'm just relieved because obviously today's Morgan Gibbs White. What I read, I'm really, I don't know. I'm all over the place with that because they're not saying again how long he's out for. They're just saying for some time. But that's like that could mean anything. And I'm just skeptical because we can't rely on Lingard because he's not turned up for the whole season. Who do we actually have to fulfill what Gibbs White does? Do we actually have...
Scarpina.
Yeah, yeah. But to be honest with you, if anything happens to Scarpa, then what?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to rely on Scarpa because it's a big ask. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of pressure to come in, and he has been amazing. But right now, I just feel like, are we actually buying anyone to cover for Gibbs White?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It is a worry. I don't think you can replace MG Dub. I'm sure, chat, you're going to send your love out to MG Dub, and we all wish him a speedy recovery because he's been sensational this season. James is saying, don't worry, bro. Don't worry. He's going to be there against Leeds. Maybe the old Cooper magic sponge comes in on this. You never know. You never
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That he's done that so many times.
Red Dog saying, yes, the GOAT. It feels like it's been ages since we last had you on. See, they love you here, bro. They love you here. It's good to have you. It's good to have you back. GOAT, let's talk about the transfer window and a couple of these players coming through. So from all the ones that have been linked, and I know you're up to speed on them, who's exciting you the most out of it, if anyone?
That kid that we just spoke about from the MLS, if we can get him, I like his numbers. The thing is, over the two Brazilian kids, I really like the MLS kid because his numbers are really proven. He's got a lot of goals and assists compared to the Brazilian kid who's got like 3 goals. I'll be honest with you, this is going to surprise everyone. I'm excited about John Joe. And the reason why I say that is because if anyone can pull the best out of him, it's Cooper. And I feel like he has got that rocket on him of a shot. And right now in our team, other than Scarpa and Gibbs White, we've not really had any go in. And also, I really like John Joe Shelvey. I love the fact he's like a dog. You know, he's dirt. He likes to get stuck in. He doesn't mess about, and we need that in the locker room. Like, you know, we don't really have anyone like that right now. Like, honestly, you know, like what I mean. He doesn't play like he's got that on him, and I like that. I like that ruggedness about him. You know, he'll come in and get stuck in. Yes, he's injury prone. I get all that, but the fact is, it's like I don't want him to come in and we're just all worried about that. Do you know, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, all right, cool, whatever. But come on, let's get behind him because as soon as he puts that top on, we are going to be behind him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you agree with what Goat's saying there, Ran, in terms of the get stuck in a bit of Yatesy about him? Do you think he will bring that? Do you agree with what the Goat's saying?
Sorry, we're talking to me?
Yeah. Well, unless you changed the name from Ant.
Sorry, mate. Can you say that again? I do apologise. I'm trying to sort something out, Danny. My brother's put in that Goat's behind the chat, but I was just trying to get in touch with him. Anyway,
No, I was just saying, Goat was saying there about how Shelvey will get stuck in and be a bit rugged in the tackle and everything. Do you think it's going to be a kind of Ryan Yates style where he's going to upset the opposition, really get under their skin? Do you see that happen? Do you agree with what he's saying there?
Absolutely. He's like a Ryan Yates with passing ability. and he's a tough guy. I mean, there's a great photo. I can't remember. That might have been his sister that put that photo on. But there's a great photo on Twitter where he's sat on the floor on the pitch and he's pointing because his tooth's been knocked out, and he's like laughing because his tooth's been knocked out. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, and something that you definitely need a tough guy in that midfield. That's for sure. And you know, if he could do the tough business, it gives the other guys a bit more room for the flair, doesn't it? You know, Danilo and Freuler maybe.
Yeah, I'd have him CDM, definitely.
Seriously?
Yeah, I would. I think he's somebody put earlier on the chat that he's like a quarterback, and
He's a ball.
Yeah, he'd just be great there. Just sit him there. Just tell him to do a party and not move very far.
Him and Danilo.
Let all the kids do the work. Let all the flair players do the rest of the work. I'd put Danilo as a box-to-box then. I know Danilo coming as a CDM, but I've always thought of him as a box-to-box.
I'm going to ask the
Yeah,
chat.
I'd rather Danilo be. I think Danilo is too restrictive on him to make him a CDM at the moment.
Talk amongst yourself. I'm just putting a poll up for the chat. I want to know where the chat think he should play. Should it be a CDM? Should it be a CM? Or would you see him more as a kind of box-to-box? So,
But do you know one thing I am concerned about?
Go on.
Is the amount of players that are getting injured, and they're all very similar injuries in terms of muscle and things being pulled. I'm really scared of what is our condition. You know, the strength and conditioning of our team. What's going on? Because we're bringing in John Joe Shelvey, who's injury prone, and we're bringing in players who are already struggling with that. It's like, you know, while we're looking at the transfer market, honestly, I would look at a new team of strength and like conditioning, because the thing is, something's not working. Something is like, you can't have a list of 15 players. If you actually count how many players, it's been over 10. So the thing is,
we must have the biggest injury list.
Something needs to be looked at.
I think we got the second one behind Chelsea, but Chelsea have got about 600 players.
I would honestly question something. And now the fact we're bringing in John Joe Shelvey and players like Felipe who are getting old. When you're getting old, you're going to have a little bit more niggles compared to your prime. So the fact is we're not bringing in players who are 24 years old, prime and healthy, and who can take a knock and just rub it off in the morning with an ice bath. We're bringing in players who are, you know, close to end of their career, and, you know, we've already got an injury list as long as anything. So it's like, I would question our strength and conditioning or someone in the physio, what's going on there as well, because there's, you know what I mean? And also, I don't like the fact that every time someone's injured, we have no real time frame. It's always covered up with something like he'll be out for a little while, or something along the lines of, oh, you know, we'll let you know in a couple of weeks' time. They're never very clear with it. The fact is, it's like, are we trying to cover up for our strength and conditioning coach? You know, we don't want to blame anyone, but the fact is, 1 injury, 2 injury, 3 injury, it's becoming a bit of a habit now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It never seems to me as though, it seems when you see it on the pitch, it's a minor injury and they'll be back within a week or 2 weeks, and it just seems to go on forever. It's weird. It's like a Bermuda Triangle.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's the weirdest season I've ever seen for injuries.
It's a dominoes effect as well.
Yeah, weird. And I'm interested in your thought on this, because I know you've got an opposite stance on the injuries. Are you agreeing with what Goat's saying on the injuries, or are you thinking this is life?
Well, first of all, Goat, you all right, mate? Good to see you. Yeah, I said before, look, you know, we're not. Well, I personally am not expert in players' injuries, and it's not unusual for clubs not to give out time frames. It really isn't unusual for clubs not to give out time frames, because they're not helping themselves one bit. If they give out a time frame saying we'll be back in 4 weeks, and it's not, and the fans go fucking mad, don't they? So they're taking the attitude now as well, stuff you them, and we won't even give you an estimate of when they're going to be back. It ain't unusual. I'll watch a lot of Premier League stuff. It's not unusual. It's also not unusual to have a crop of injuries. It happens, you know, from time to time. It happens.
Yeah, generally this time of year as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, I mean, Laser's saying a good point. There's the World Cup as well that came and sandwiched itself in. Some of these, I mean, not all of them that we got injured are World Cuppers, but you could argue Kyoto picked up his injury.
let's have a quick look at the injuries. You've got Omar Richards, who came in injured. Okay, so
That's
let's
on the
write
club.
that one off.
That one's on the club, mate.
I tend to agree with that, but nevertheless, he's not got injured playing for us. He was already injured, so you can kind of write that one off. Okay, that was not too good. Okay, so then you've got Niakate. Well, we don't really know. We don't really know what he did. So, and he's been out for a hell of a long time, much longer than we originally thought. So that's a bad one for us as well, because obviously he's a vital player for us. Awoniyi has just picked up an injury, bit of a weird one. Not sure how long he's going to be out for, but it's not unheard of for players to pull a groin. I've heard of that before. I don't see why anybody should be held responsible for that. Then where we're going after that? So that's 3 fairly long-termish ones. We've got Hendo. Do you think that was down to the fitness coaches and pulling that thigh? I can't see it, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's just a bit of bad luck, in my opinion. Like I say, I'm not a medical expert, but I think it's a bit unfair to assume that something's wrong because we're getting a crop of injuries that clubs do get. Go on,
go. What were you saying?
I was saying, what about Gibbs White though?
I don't know what's wrong with him. Do you?
It's an ankle. It's an ankle injury, and I think I kind of agree with Goat on this, because he came off shaking his head, but it was downplayed as being he was annoyed that he was coming off.
What do you want him to say? What does it matter what he says?
What does it matter if he says he's injured? What does it matter? We know at least.
He didn't know. He'd just come off 15 minutes earlier. Do you think Steve Cooper knows what his ankle problem is?
No, then just say then that we don't know. We need to check the scan. Something that simple.
He did say that, but what he did say is him lifting his shirt up didn't mean it was that bad. And I agree with him, because when he lifted his shirt up, he then wiped his sweat off his face. I don't know on that one.
Well, okay.
So maybe Gibbs White knew it was bad, but Cooper didn't know it was bad. Not at that time.
Do you know what it is? Cooper said straight away after the game, we'll look at the scans after a couple of days and we'll let you know. A couple of days came up, then today they go, he's going to be out for some time. Yeah. The thing is, it's like with Niakate, they said something similar. It's been 5 months. So the fact is, I think it's that scare factor, and you got to think about it. Morgan Gibbs White, we're going to pay 45 million maybe, right? Maybe. That is a lot of money to then have someone, and this is the second time he's picked up a niggle now. Do you know what I mean? And we're getting to that part of the season where results matter more than anything, because these are the sort of games now that kind of define our season. So I'm not saying
it's a terrible thing that's happened.
Everyone in the team, but what I am saying is how about a little bit more clarity, and especially I think right now more than anything, losing Gibbs White is gonna, because the thing is, we got. Let's be honest, we haven't got anyone to replace Gibbs White. Gibbs White is our best player.
Scarpa can do it. I disagree with you there. I'd say Scarpa can do it. But
Gibbs White's been our best player.
Sometimes you have to tweak the way you're playing as well to accommodate a change in personnel.
Yeah.
But with Gibbs White in particular, they perhaps genuinely don't know how long it's going to take. Because one thing I saw recently with a doctor is saying that every player, every human being, every player is different. Particularly if that player's not had that kind of injury before. Some can recover in 2 weeks. Some will take 2 months. It's difficult to be precise in a lot of injuries. I don't know. Look, like I say, I'm not a medical expert. I just don't like.
I know. Okay, we're not medical experts. We're all upset about MGW getting injured. Emotions will run high, but let's spin this back
around. You wouldn't give a toss, would you?
Huh?
If it had been Cook, you wouldn't have given it. You wouldn't even mentioned it. Oh, he's out injured.
I didn't bring it up. Goat brought it up, not me. Right?
You can't bring a guest on and then start blaming him.
I can blame Goat.
No, but if Cook was injured, I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't even affect the team, because he's been playing like he's been injured all season anyway.
This is true. This is true.
All right. We're here. It's all yellow. We've got the timer in the bottom left corner for when the window closes. Yeah. Let's bring it back towards the transfer window. Right. So we've talked about the 4 main ones that seem to be coming through. Dina, I want to touch on some of the peripheral ones. Well, not so much peripheral, but I want to get your take on what's happening with Navas right now, because Navas is getting quite messy, and there's been a lot of conflicting reports today. Do you mind just giving us a quick summary of where we are with Navas? And guys in the chat, start getting your thoughts in
he
on
was
Navas.
almost nailed on at one point, wasn't he? He was almost there, and then all of a sudden, a strange change of heart for some reason from PSG. And I don't know what happened there, because it's all very confusing about the loan thing. Saying they can't loan a player out, and
They can't figure out if they want to loan him out or loan him with an option to buy.
And then they're offering
too many
the third
loaned out
place keeper,
currently,
aren't they, to us? So I don't know, the one behind Navas.
But what I don't like the fact is we've then gone to PSG and said, what about another keeper, and then they've just offered Rico instead of actually looking at the market.
Keeper. Yeah, it's weird because he was pretty much the closest behind Shelvey, and then it's just gone straight out with no real other keeper links at the minute.
His medical would have been today for Navas. Like, that's how much of it was pretty much a done deal. Like, they were talking about a medical being done today. So something's really gone sour for it to just break down and to say, let's get Rico.
Why have they waited till the guy was virtually on the plane before discovering that they didn't have enough loan deals to allow him to... Sorry, they had too many loans out. Why would they not known that a long time ago? Can they not count? I don't get it. I'm very suspicious.
I don't know what's this. Something really weird gone off there.
Look how many players we're signing.
But there are a few reports. I mean, it's even been on Sky Sports News about the Rico thing, and that's part of the discussion now to send him. I think what annoyed me about this whole thing was that if this Navas deal is dead, it almost feels like we turned to PSG and said, okay, well, who else you got? Yeah, and come have a look at the bargain bin section.
Well, we're here, bargain bin. Yeah,
exactly. Rather than we know Livakovic is available for a bargain. There's your bargain, at 10 mil in euros. So why not bring him in instead of going in the PSG deeper bargain bin? Are they too embroidered in what's going on here? That's my issue with it. I'd love to get chat's thoughts on it.
I feel like the priorities changed a bit. I think the priority isn't so much now with the goalkeeper, because I think like the boost of having Hendo come back sooner, I feel like they're trying to focus on maybe getting a centre back or a striker, or I feel like that's why they're not going out for options to buy a big goalkeeper. They're just like, you know what, we'll just get Rico. We'll just get anybody, who can catch a ball better than Hennessy. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they've changed their priority, because if we now look, we've been attached to Antonio, this kid from MLS, the other kid from Brazil. I feel like we've changed our priority. I've seen something about IU. It's like, we've completely switched our thoughts from, because we were linked with about 4 different keepers at one point, but ever since the boost of Hendo coming back, it's like they've turned around and thought, maybe we can get away with Rico.
It's concerning. I'm interested in what the chat have got to say. I'm going to put a quick poll out. If you guys had the choice, Sophie's choice on which keeper you could have, let me know who it would be.
I think it's Livakovic all day. I think we all want him.
Do you both agree on it? Why would you... Okay, then answer the question then, go. How would that balance with Hendo? What would you do once Hendo's back?
I think we've got to think long term. I think Livakovic is also not just for now, it's for tomorrow. Because we are not going to have Hendo come summer, are we? Whereas Livakovic, we have.
Well, I've said this all along, and this, he's not our player, Hendo. And I think
we can't think.
He kisses the badge and loves us. I get it, and I love Hendo. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think I'm a anti-Hendo, because I love him. I think he's fantastic, and I'd love nothing more for them to sign him tomorrow. So why don't they put some of this money to signing him and committing to him?
I think it's United.
Perhaps it might be a bit of Hendo as well. We speculated earlier on in the season. Is he just hanging around to see if we stay up before he makes?
Can't blame him for that, can you?
Yeah, you can't.
No, but then the same goes the other way, Ant. The same goes the other way. We haven't got a forever keeper at the minute. We've got an on-loan goalkeeper and a poor second goalkeeper.
You know what?
To be fair, I'll just throw this one in. We don't know. We don't know if talks have taken place between Forest and Manchester United. We don't know that. He's not going back to Man United.
You can't just keep saying we don't know. That then we might as well not have a stream.
You're stating things as if they're fact.
I'm not stating
he's not
anything
got-
as if it's
no.
fact. I'm stating a discussion point and to get your opinion on it, mate. You got to get your ass off that fence, mate.
I'm not on the fence. I think Endo will stay. I think if Forest stay up, which we will, I think he'll stay. That's my belief, and I think that's what Forest believe. That's why they're not going for Likovic.
When was the last time we had a keeper, and I mean like a Forest through and through keeper, like a proper keeper that's been there from, from day one.
Samba.
No, but he wasn't there from day one through and through. You see my point? We've not had one.
Oh, you
We've
mean
not had
born
like
and bred and grown?
Who's that?
No, you saying you want a born and bred and grown
Oh,
keeper?
that's what I'm saying. I think that's what
Smithy's
we're
been there
missing.
about 100 years now.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at all the great teams, Chelsea had Czech, United have had Van der Sar, they've had Schmeichel, Shilton from back in the day, if you really want to look at keepers. But do you know what I mean? I'm saying for us, Hendo could be that, but and he does have that Forest in him. He gives it back to the opposition, and I think he would be perfect. But at the same time, I feel like are United trying to hang on to him as well?
I don't know. What's interesting is what the chat is saying. So I've put Livakovic, Hendo, Rico, and Navas as the options. Yeah. Livakovic is ahead of Hendo from the chat. Keep getting your votes in. This is an interesting one.
How old is
47%
Livakovic?
want Livakovic. Now Hendo's just matched him at 40. So no, back to 46%. 1% want Rico and 5% want Navas.
How
Now-
old is Livakovic?
He's 27.
Okay.
Is he 29? He's one of those two. I can't remember off the top of my
He's
head.
got a couple of years in him.
He's 27. I'm certain he's 27. I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me. I just want to bring in some of the chat's comments onto this. Keith saying Van der Sar is 175 years old. So, like, age doesn't matter with goalkeepers. I think he's making that point. Wake Up saying we need to give some of our young guns a go as well. And then Disco, how are you, buddy? Saying that's bad planning on Forest hierarchy if they put all their eggs in the Hendo basket. Do you feel, and that they've got any of that in them, that they are, or do you think, let me rephrase that question. Do you think that whoever we sign will be a clear indicator of which way Hendo goes in the summer? Do you know what I mean? If we just got a loan in, does that give you more of an indicator?
I believe, and I have no positive proof of this. I believe that Forest are intending to keep Henderson as our number one goalkeeper in the summer. That's my belief. And maybe the Licky Vicky one, maybe they were hesitant in signing for that exact reason. That they're thinking, no, we want Henderson. And Henderson's perhaps said to him, yeah, I want to come. Providing you stay up, I want to stay here. I love it here. These are things that I say. We don't know. I could be entirely wrong. They might not have spoken to Endo, and he might not want to stay.
But
that
do
would
we
mean-
have that put in place? Are we allowed to buy him by the end of the? Is it?
There's
No,
option.
there's no deal.
There's no option. No.
There's no
So-
deal. It's
so-
like Martin's saying. They might say 30 mil. What do we do, you know?
This is what I
Right.
mean. Why are we not future planning then?
Well, but that's what I'm saying, though. Talks may have taken place between the club and the player.
And would you
And the
not say
players-
that's a big maybe though? That is a very.
It is a big maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's a
maybe
massive
not.
maybe.
Equally, maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Equally,
too-
maybe
for
not.
me-
No, I agree. I'm only going on. Wolverine asked me, "Do you think it's an indication?" And I'm saying, yeah maybe
Yeah.
it is an indication that we've not gone for that goalkeeper because we believe we're going to keep Henderson. Now that they might not,
Yeah.
things can happen in
Yeah,
football.
yeah.
But I think at the
I'm down with
moment
that
that
comment
would
there.
make sense.
I just want to bring Dino
That's why
in
they're
on
hanging
Red
on.
Dog's comment. I think this is a really important comment.
Yeah,
and
really good
good
comment.
shout, Red Dog. If Hendo keeps playing well, other clubs will come sniffing around and a potential bidding war with other clubs. Also,
I don't
Man
think
U
they
will
will.
want
Do you know
silly
what I
money
think
for
will
him.
happen? I think United will turn around and say, "Now we're going to keep him." Because why are we going to sell someone?
They
that
won't.
good?
United
They
can't
don't
keep
keep
him.
him.
They can't keep him. But Dino, do you see that
He doesn't wanna
happening?
be
If
there.
Hendo carries on, he's been on decent form. Do you see his? This is a problem with not having a loan, a option to buy at the end of the deal, which is what I spoke about in the summer when we signed him. Can you see this becoming a major problem?
Yeah, I see it as a major problem from the very beginning. The fact that we're not after him right now and making a commitment to him means that it's going to be a major problem because he's not out of contract this year. He's got another this season and 2 more years left on his contract, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's
2026.
30 mil minimum then.
And
If he's
that
got 3
raises your
years.
price up. So I don't know.
I
don't know. He's not our player. I love him, but he's not our player. I keep saying it.
The thing is, I think, like what Ant is trying to say, you can see him in a Forest top for years to come. You can't. He looks like one of our own, and
He does,
that's where
yeah.
you want to kind of like hope he's going to
and
stay.
I've made the point before that there's only one goalkeeper spot available in each team, and none of the top teams are maybe Chelsea might. Apart from Chelsea, none of the top, and if they want him, then we could just forget it. But none of the top teams are in the market for a goalkeeper. Even if you could ask like Villa, they've got a good goalkeeper.
I'd chuck in Spurs again at you, Ant. I really would. Lloris
Yeah.
is on his last legs.
I agree with that. Yeah. Okay.
But Chelsea have got
yeah,
2 great keepers though.
yeah, but they're not happy with them, are they?
Mendy
Well, the
and
fans
Kepa.
aren't.
That's
The fans
I'll
aren't
take, I'll
anyway.
take one of them.
I
What,
don't
Mendy
know.
or
Kepa, yeah, they're
Kepa.
both 2 very good keepers on their day.
their fans, honestly, their fans, they don't
But
rate
to be
him
honest
at
with
all.
you, Chelsea are spending 600 million. It was reported today, so I think they've lost their marbles.
Just very quickly,
I
Tyrell.
think you're right.
Yeah, I mean 105 on. Well, we don't care. That's Chelsea. No, there's no. Oh my god, 10 mil to buy him. I'd said that's the deal of the year on that one. There is no look. All I'll say on this, there was
To buy who?
talks. This is talking about Hendo.
Yeah,
There was talks of a 20 million option to buy at
and
the
they
end of
pulled
the
out.
loan. That never got agreed. It got close to being agreed in the summer, but it never got over the line. So it is a straight loan and goodbye at the end of the window. And as Dino's saying, it's the potential. And as who was it? It was Red Dog who said it as well. If he carries on his form, it only benefits Man United, doesn't it, Dino? Because he's gonna push his own price up.
Yeah.
But why
Yeah,
wouldn't
he's got good
United
contract
want him
length left.
back at
He's
United?
a good age. He'll be knocking on the door of England at some point again.
But I don't think I think Hendo would be great at United if De Gea, I don't know, gets injured.
He doesn't want them though, mate. He doesn't want them.
That's true. That's
He's
true.
burned a few
doesn't want
bridges, to be fair.
I mean, he has burned his bridges well and truly, you know.
That's true.
And I think he did that specifically to burn his bridges, to let
Yeah,
people
that's
know
true.
I'm not
That is
going
true.
back there.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
think
so-
yeah, and he made a comment with Rashford as well, didn't
But
he?
Spurs
Beating
is
the
a good
ball at him
shout.
in training.
Yeah, and there's also Everton. I mean, there's loads of keepers. Look, the bottom line is getting back on track here. The main keepers that are linked, Navas is the strongest link. You've had the Rico story coming out today, and then it was a stronger story about a week ago on Livakovic, and that has faded out. What's even more interesting is the chat has swayed and spoken. Now 49% of the chat want Hendo, 44% want Livakovic, Puerto Rico with 1%, and Navas has got 6%. Wolverine, are you getting new recruits in for FFTV before the transfer deadline day? Any Deadwood going out on loan or to be sold? I bid £4 for Ez. I need a new butler. Sold. Sold. £4 for Ez. I'll take that any day of the week. Yeah, so, okay. Goat, it's been fantastic having you as always, buddy. I know we've spoken a lot in the very dark days, especially when we were bottom. You've come on, you said you're feeling positive and everything. I want to finish with this with you, buddy. Give us a prediction of where Forest are going to finish now this season.
If the Felipe deal gets done, which I think it will,
Yeah.
I just read somewhere that we might be signing Roman Saiz from Wolves. Is it?
No, he's in Turkey.
Yeah,
Is it-
yes
is
and
it-
no.
well,
yeah,
yeah.
yes and no. He was linked, but he won't come.
Well, okay, so if we can get Felipe, and you know what, I still want another centre back, because if we're letting Cook go, I reckon we still need cover. I don't think we can wait on Newcastle coming back, because I might have grandkids by the time he comes back, so I want cover. If we can get that striker, I'd take the MLS lad, or someone with a bit of pace up top. If we get Shelvey, I'd say we can easily, comfortably between 13 I'll take 13. I think yeah, we can do it. I'm not going to be crazy and say top 10 because I think that's just a bit too much. But I think we can aim for 13, 14 because I feel I can see the team, they're starting to play together. I can actually see where they're going now.
Yeah.
All the questions I had before have pretty much been answered. I
Yeah.
can see what keeper's starting to do. I just hope he doesn't go too crazy again and buy another 8 players in the last 2 hours because I feel like that'll do more harm than good. However, I feel like if we do get the odd, Felipe, the striker, and maybe one more player, and let go of O'Brien, who else we've got? We're letting go of O'Brien. We're letting
Toffolo
go
might
of
be going. Cook might
Buffalo,
be going.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Cook as well. I also want to say about the whole Yatesy thing, which I've heard about. I just want to say exactly what you lot said. I just wish him the best of luck. I don't want to
Absolutely.
speak about it because he's one of our own, and I think right now we just got to protect him and pray for him. So that's why I've not spoke about that at all, and I'm not going to.
Yeah. Good man.
And yeah, that's it really. I think just 2-3 signings, and you know what? I'll take Antonio. If Antonio wants to come back, I'll take him. I'll chuck that
All
in the
right. You were
scanner.
doing so well, mate. You were doing so well in my eyes. You were
Yeah,
doing so
no,
well.
you
Time
know
to go
what?
now.
I feel like that strength and that pace he's got, I think he's got more to offer than Wood. Because with Wood, I'm sorry, but there's just I'm not happy with that signing at all. I've thought
Yeah.
about it; it's still not settling in. I can't figure out why we bought him. Whereas with Antonio, he's got that pace, he's got that power. Yeah, he's getting a little bit older, but he's faster than Wood.
He's
So if we can
sentimental,
get
bro. You are sentimental on him. But I hear
no,
you.
do you know what? If we
Take him
can get
over Wood.
Antonio for a bargain, I'll take him because I think he still brings something. I can't figure out what Wood brings. Honestly, I just can't figure it out.
Well, we will find out. Goat, it's been a pleasure seeing you again, buddy. Let's not leave the gap too long going
Yeah, no, I
forward,
appreciate
mate.
that, guys. Dean,
It'll be
and
good
it's
to
been a
have you on
pleasure.
again soon.
Yeah, no,
And
Cheers,
thank
mate.
you
absolutely.
so
Good to
much.
see
And
you.
guys in the chat, give Goat some love. It's good to see him. And how handsome does he look with his beard now? We've got a camera on him and everything, buddy.
I
All the
appreciate
best,
that.
buddy. We'll catch up with you soon.
Definitely.
Salam
Take care,
alaikum.
guys. Thank you for
Cheers,
having me
yeah.
on.
You
Cheers,
too.
bro. Take care. Bye.
All right.
And I
Who wants Sharky to jump onto the stream? Because he's
Yeah.
saying some funny comments in there. So
Yeah,
Sharky, if
get
you
on,
are free,
Get
hit
him
that
on.
link. We
him
got to
on,
get him
get him
on. We
on.
got to get him on, Sharky.
Can I just
okay.
Right,
mention
Sharky.
what Goat said there about Romain Saez?
Yeah.
He won't
Saez.
come. I wasn't just being a knobhead there. He's actually, him and Felipe have had a big run in. They had I think Felipe was racist against Romain, and there was big problems with it. So he's definitely not going to come and play with him. He's ex-Wolves, and I think a few years ago he'd have been quite an exciting signing, but it's probably
He had a good World Cup, didn't he? He had a good World
Yeah,
Cup.
he had a
Yeah,
decent
he
World
had
Cup,
an
but
excellent World
Besiktas
Cup.
have only recently signed him anyway, so I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to touch on a point Goat made, and I want to ask you two, and I want the chat's opinion on this. What you were saying about if we do end up, at the moment we're linked to, say, 4 or 5 players, are we going to be going through another phase again where these players are going to need to gel? Do you know what I'm saying? We had the whole start of the season thing with 23 new players. Now we are talking about a smaller scales. And guys in the chat, yes or no, do you think something like that could potentially be a risk in terms of they got to settle in? You're shaking your head, Dino.
No, I don't think so. I think because we lost the massive core of our side last year, which were basically loan players, 6 loan players disappearing, and then starting again with a new side. Obviously, we lost Graben, and so pretty much we had to change that entire first 11. But now, we've got a good core. You've just got to look at Danilo when he dropped in, and he had a great game, didn't he? His first game in, his full first start, fantastic. So I think I don't think there's a problem really there. Do you, Ant?
No, I think, hopefully we're bringing in the right players. I mean, that's quite important. And I can't see us like sticking 6 new players in the team in one go.
Yeah.
We're buying players to fill gaps that we do have.
Correct.
And
And we were not only gelling the players, Ant, we were gelling the formation. Remember, we started with the 5 at the back. or three
and the
centre
manager.
backs.
And the manager,
Yeah,
it was
and we
it
were
was all
gelling
new,
everything at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
New
And
CEO,
I think,
yeah.
and I think we've all seen, haven't we, the positive signs in the last few weeks, and the players, like I say, the players with people like Danilo, can only add to it. We're plugging the gaps. If we get a decent centre back, maybe a forward, they're gaps that were there to be filled. So it's not like we're buying players on top of players, as it were.
Yeah, because there's some going out, isn't there? So, the
Yeah,
likes of Lewis.
we'll come on to the outgoings in a second, but I just
Yeah.
want to bring up what Jimmy's saying here. He is technically right. Every signing is a risk, especially if we're getting them from, MLS, Brazil, wherever it may be. But because the scale is a lot lower, it should be a lot less of a risk, because we are almost you can kind of see what they're doing in terms of bulking out a squad. Now, the argument is, are they bulking out from above, as in people who are challenging for the first team, or are they bulking out from below, people who would just end up being squad players? I think there's a debate to be had there. But I don't think we should have the same issues, I think your point, Dino, on formation is a key one. Cooper didn't really know what to go with. He went with the Championship back three. That worked there, didn't work in the Premier League. Eventually he switches it round and he seems to be settled in some kind of 4-3-3 or a little bit of a 4-2-3-1 kind of thing. But I think we'll be okay. But what I want to know now is, with these 4 or 5 players coming in, how do we feel about the ones going out? And I want to start with my personal big one, which is O'Brien. This one's really bugging me, if I'm being straight with you guys. And me and you have been big fans of him all season, haven't we? He was really good to start with. Do you think it's time to call it on him? Because the rumours are, should I say, that we're trying to really get him to go on loan with an obligation to buy. There's a lot of rumours, and I'm speculating a bit now. There's nothing confirmed or anything like that, but it is clear to see he's on his way out, along with Tuffler, who we'll talk about in a minute. And guys in the chat, are you ready for O'Brien to leave? So, Ant, take it away. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm really sad about this, because I was really impressed with Lewis O'Brien. He surprised me at how quickly he seemed to take to the division. I don't think he's done anything wrong on the pitch. I know he had a bad game, particularly against Blackpool, but apart from that, and he did not play for a while. Except
Everyone had a bad game though against Blackpool, didn't they?
Yeah. There's lots of reasons for that. So take that away. I've been so impressed with the guy, and it can only be a personal issue. It cannot be a footballing decision, because that would make no sense. And if it's a personal situation, that's just really sad, because I think wherever he goes, he'll do well. I really like Lewis O'Brien, and I wish he would remain a Forest player, but I can't see it happening.
Dino, how do you feel about him?
Same as Ant, really. It's a shame. He's not done a great deal wrong, has he? It just, sometimes people's faces don't fit, and I think it's a bit of that, to be honest.
What? Because he's ginger, mate. We got Cole back.
They can't get rid of Cole back.
What's interesting is the
put his
chat
number
are
on the
feeling
back of his shirt.
No, I don't. What's interesting is the chat are feeling the same. So on the question of do you want Lob to leave, 25% are saying yes, 75% are saying no.
I'd like to hear from the people that are saying yes. I'd be interested to see why they want him to go. Is it lack of talent, or I'd be interested to see what reason they had.
Here he goes. One Solomon saying, Lewis O'Brien runs about a bit too much without structure to his game. In my opinion, his progressive passing isn't up to it for a top half Premier League player. He's still a championship player in his opinion.
Well, the people that are after him are championship clubs, aren't they? West Brom, obviously, after him, but Sheffield United have sort of come in today because one of their midfielders, I think.
Berg, going to Fulham.
Yeah, he's going. He's looking at leaving the club, so they see him as an ideal replacement for him. So I think he'll end up there, whether it's a permanent or a loan. I don't know.
Go on, Ant, you were saying?
I was saying, I mean, it's just opinion, but I actually don't agree with that. I don't agree that that is not fit to play in the Premier League. From what I've seen, I don't actually. And the teams that are looking at him are both teams with aspirations to get into the Premier League. So unless you think they're going to have him for 6 months, buy him, and then dump him straight away if they get promoted, I don't see that happening. But it's opinions, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. It's interesting because we've got to talk about the other one who's linked to leave, which is Tuffalo. But I just want to bring, I guess we got backstage in for a second. Are you all good and ready there, buddy?
No, he's disappeared. Come
back.
back.
He's in the corner.
He's hiding. He's giving us a little wave.
What's he pointing?
It was a wave, Sharky.
What? There's a terrible echo. Can you guys hear it?
It's Sharky. All right, Sharky, get rid of the YouTube stream, and then we'll get you on. All right, I'll leave on Mike to sort him out in the background. We'll bring him on in a second. But the other one, we did touch on it yesterday, was obviously was Tuffalo going to Anderlecht. There've been rumours today that he's actually out in Belgium, maybe doing a medical, etc. How true are those, Dino? Are they?
Yeah, it's true. He's going to Anderlecht on loan at Ant's favourite second club.
You wanted to have a say on that, didn't you?
He's one for me that was okay. He's a good backup, but we've got players that can play in that position now. And he was only he wasn't much of a risk, was he? It was only like, what was he, 2.5 million to us in a double deal?
Yeah,
buy one get one free sort of thing.
It was.
So he's okay. I've got nothing against him. Is he a Premier League player that's going to give us the aspirations we need to get in the top 6? No. So
I mean, a lot of people are saying Tuffalo is bang average. Dickens saying that. What else we got here? Why don't we like Anderlecht? Well, Dino, you want to take that? Or I kind of want Sharky to answer this one. I'm sure he remembers it well.
Leave me out of this conversation.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Here he is, Sharky. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine. Can you see me?
We can indeed, mate. It's been a while. You've been keeping well?
I've been keeping well, yeah. Been a busy day today. Just a routine colonoscopy today for me.
Oh, God. All well?
That's been fun.
All okay?
All okay, I hope, anyway. Not had a drink for the last month, so tonight I'm having a Guinness. So if I get a bit above myself, just remember I've had
to get a bit leery.
We got fun Sharky tonight, ladies and gents. This is
we've got drunken Sharky on. Wicked.
Anderlecht, we can't talk about them. No.
Well, can you? Because we've got a few of the young viewers. We've got Adam, who's young. He's in his teens. Yeah. Just for those who may have missed it yesterday, do you want to give a quick synopsis? 'Cause I'm sure you remember it. Yeah, and the guys in the chat are explaining it all to him. But let me ask you this, Sharky. Do you think we should be doing business with Anderlecht?
Yeah, of course we should. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, you've forgiven and forgotten.
No fucking chance of cheating Belgian bastards.
If it gets us the right players, of course we should. It's a long time ago. They cheated, they paid the referee off, and they knocked us out of Europe. And I suppose the thoughts that old men like me think is, if the Champions League and the Premier League had existed back in the 80s, we'd be a massive club. Absolutely massive. We'd have money. And here we are sort of scratching round over the odd 20 million here and there, thinking about whether we should buy a goalkeeper.
Sharky, I'm a bit and
I wouldn't have prime Messi off him in his prime for a free off them cheating bastards.
Can we just can we just notice the people have noticed the ticker at the bottom? Felipe is now a Nottingham Forest player.
Breaking news, ladies and gents.
On a permanent deal. Fabrizio Romano. Thank you, Omai, for digging that one out.
What Dean, is he a good
Medical
player?
on Tuesday. Say again, sorry.
Is he a good player? Because I'm not. He's
a centre back. He's got good experience. He's 33, and he's he's not got the pace, but he's good positioning. He's played for Porto, I believe, for a few years before he went to Atletico.
Well, I suppose the only question can ask, Dean, is he better than Cook?
Sharky, you probably are.
Cook's potentially on his bike to Stoke as we speak, on his bike.
So this is interesting. Now we've told you earlier on when Dino was at the City Ground, we were getting signals that Felipe was close. Do you guys like the breaking news stuff up above? Pretty cool, yeah. And the breaking news are the details down below. So this may be a trigger point. This is some huge news here, because the talk on the town is Felipe will trigger the allowance of Cook to leave this window.
I'm just going to have a look.
Oh,
Sharky, how would you feel about that?
I'll drink to that. I'm sorry, lads, but you've got to remember that this afternoon they gave me some anaesthetic and a list that says, do not drink alcohol after you've had this anaesthetic. And having spent the last 45 days not drinking alcohol, I thought tonight, blow it. My blood pressure can take it. I'm having a little drink tonight because Derby are losing. And I'm actually starting to believe that Nottingham Forest, with all these players we're talking about, will be 10th. And I put the comment in the comments and said, who do you believe, Wolverine or Sharky?
I'm telling you. In the last 6 games, Sharky, we're in the aren't we 9th, 8th?
Yep, in the form table. Yep,
in the form table.
We were sort of the last 5 games or so. We were 6th.
Yep.
When I looked a couple of weeks ago, so we get in there, and all this panicking about goalkeepers. Hendo, I suspect, to be back in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Whether we get Navas or not, I don't know. Yeah, I think Barchester United will hold us to ransom over him. We don't have to buy him, because once we're established in the Premier League, come the summer, we'll be able to buy a goalkeeper that fits in. The main thing, I think, is if this Felipe is okay, we need a centre-back, and we need somebody who can score goals. And it looks like we're sort of starting to address that. But I still think there are 6 or 7 teams worse than us in the Premier League, and we'll survive, and we'll go from strength to strength next year. We've got a chairman that promised us, 8 months ago, new era, challenging for trophies. Well, we've been crap at times this season, and yet we made a semi-final of the League Cup, and we're starting to get there. So I still believe.
Is this Sharky believing, or is it the Guinness talking?
No, this is Sharky. Absolutely, definitely.
Listen, I agree. Look at the teams, and we're on 8th place in the last 6 games in terms of recent form. But look at the teams that are 6th, 7th, and 8th right now: Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford. We had this discussion the other day, I think, internally, didn't we, with Ant and Ez? We've got to be there or thereabouts, haven't we? Brighton 6th, Fulham 7th, Brentford 8th over the whole season.
I'll tell you what, Dean, I go back to...
I'll be there next year, surely.
1980. Must have been 1980. My dad took me down to the City Ground. He was a bugger. He told me Mum he took his lad off to the City Ground to watch the matches. He used to get me a ticket, hand me over the turnstile, 50p to the old turnstile man, and he'd bugger off to Westbridge for bookies. And he'd come in at the end of the match, helping the man who pushed the hot dog store in. You'd hear the clink, clink, clink of the gates at about 79 minutes. And my dad had come in onto the Bridgeford end, pushing the gates, pushing this trolley, and come up and stand for the last 10 minutes or so. But that time, we were playing Brighton, and we'd not lost at home, had we, for so long. 42
Robbo missed the penalty.
And he bought a ticket from a tout. I went into what's now known as the Peter Taylor stand, the main stand, and I got there with me stub for the ticket, and there was a bloke sat in my seat. And I said to the steward, "That bloke sat in my seat." And the man said, "No, it's my seat." But the steward chucked him out, and I sat down and watched the rest of the match. Robbo missed a penalty, and we lost 1-0.
Yep.
And
I
that's
was in the Trent end, Sharky.
Yeah.
He was in your seat.
I hate Brighton.
Hey,
I hate
I
Brighton.
didn't get into seats till I was about 30. I wasn't that posh.
Well, to be honest, I suffer a bit from dyslexia, and my first season ticket was in the Trent end, and it was cheap, wasn't it? Because you used to go in for 50p if you were a junivile. Because I couldn't say juvenile, I was a junivile. I used to take.
How's that Guinness doing, Sharky? Is it still going well?
Yeah.
How big's the glass you've had?
No, I do apologise. I've had a few tonight.
Oh, I'm loving it, mate. We've missed having you on here, mate. We've missed you.
I deserved it.
It's medicinal anyway.
Yeah, medicinal.
Definitely. It helps the blood pressure and everything.
Exactly. It's lovely to see you looking so healthy, mate, and smiling away. Yeah.
I'm doing well, and I'll tell you what, I'm loving the new format. I did think when it all started, I'm not so sure about this because, Wolverine ran a channel that we all got really attached to, and Forest Ant came on, and Ez and everybody, and started to get used to it, and then suddenly it branched out. And you thought, well, is Wolverine a lazy bastard? Because he suddenly wants everybody to do the work for him.
He's definitely not. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you're right.
Has it lost
He's
it?
not.
To be fair, you're all working with him. As long as you do as he tells you, you'll be all right.
No.
Yeah, it's.
But no, seriously, loving it. I just don't know how you keep the content up. You're there every second. I'm feeling sort of I only work part time, and I go on. I think, bloody hell, I missed another video. I'm being pulled out. There's a message on Twitter saying, "I'm worried about you. We've not seen you for 2 days."
It's I love the family feel of it, yeah. And we hadn't heard from you for a while, so I thought I'd drop you a message on Twitter just to check everything was okay. And we'll do that with everyone that we talk to. I honestly, look, for me, this channel was never about me. I'm not an ego channel, yeah. So naming it Forest Fan TV, literally is to bring it all in board for the family, for you guys, and everyone in the chat, and just making it connected more to the club. And I the guys that are working with me now are top notch. I know you started. I love how you went like Ant joined, Ez joined, and then when he got to Dino, it was like, and then Dino joined.
Some others. Some others.
That's when he started to get unsure of what was going on. But no, honestly, I feel like everyone in the chat here, everyone in the chat, I almost
lot of love for Sharky in the chat.
I've got to say, FFTV mod. Well done.
My.
You're doing well, oh my.
He's doing all right, isn't he?
I'm going to say, love you all, guys. I'm glad you're doing this. Don't get burnt out by it, because Forest seem to be pretty much the busiest club in the whole Premier League with everything.
Don't we know it?
And I'm going to say tonight, been a tough day. Had a lot to do. I'm having a Guinness or two. I haven't finished yet. I'm going to say, love you and leave you. Let me go, and I'll join you again another night when I'm my usual sensible local government.
We like Guinness. We like Guinness Sharky. He's fun. He's fun.
But tonight, enjoyed it. Some good points tonight. And God knows what I'm going to wake up to tomorrow with this transfer market. I'll be glad when it's all over.
So
And
will
I
I,
know
mate.
us
the
too.
players we've got. And all I can say again is you're doing brilliantly, and thank you for letting me be in.
Look at the love you're getting, mate, in the chat. Look at this.
Yeah,
He's one
Well,
of
I've
our
seen
own.
one. It says Sharky get to bed. Yeah, and they're about right. But what I will say is thank you for allowing me to be part of this forest community, and I send all my love to all of you guys.
And thank you for
man.
supporting the
Easy
channel
man.
like you do. We really
Let me
appreciate
go,
it, and
and
everyone else in the chat as well.
I've given you a new member, Southpaw Red. Make sure he's happy.
He's a
And tell him,
legend as well, Southpaw is.
Yeah, he's always here.
tell him to
Yeah.
continue next month as well, because I'm not paying for him then.
Oh, it's lovely.
Fantastic. Thank you
Right.
so much, Sharky.
Throw me out
Enjoy the
then,
rest of your
Wolverine.
Guinness, mate. Keep that smile
will
on
do.
your face. And it's so good to see you back on the stream, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Dean.
take
Thank
care,
you,
mate.
Forest Ant. Thank you, Wolverine.
All the
Thank
best,
you.
buddy. We'll
Thank you, buddy.
talk soon,
Take
no
care,
doubt.
mate.
Appreciate it.
Take care, mate.
See you later, buddy. Bye. And it's
he's so
just,
lovely.
you know what? One,
Welcome.
he is one of the most genuine guys you'll speak to. But secondly, he gets what we're trying to do. And hopefully, I mean, look, there's so many names in the chat that we know inside out now. Shout out to Adam. I'm just literally reading the last few names. Martin, we know so much about you. James is always here. Goat, of course. The East is red. What a legend. And that's just the names that are popping up there. And this is really what we're trying to create. That's why I ditched the whole Wolverine channel thing, just to make this more of a family community so we can sit here and chat. Now, my wife I'm not in the good books right now after these last 2 days, but I'm sure she'll forgive me at some point. So all we do ask is if you don't mind hitting the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll just keep you posted on anything Nottingham Forest related. So, Felipe, done. Here we go on that, Dino, yeah? So just to confirm for anyone joining late, can we just re-break the news? Dino?
You want me to re-break it?
Yes, that's what I said.
Felipe, the deal is done. He is our player until 2026. 33-year-old from Atletico Madrid. Centre-back. Only played 4 appearances this season. Mostly he's been an unused sub. He has 2 caps for Brazil. And he is now a red.
Fantastic. Can we start to speculate, Ant? Do you think this will mean someone has to go, i.e. Steve Cook? And guys in the chat, we want your opinion on this one. Is it going to be Steve Cook first up for the chopping block, or is there anyone else who could potentially make way? Because we do have to keep within the size of the squad restraints. It's not like Felipe's coming in as an under 21-year-old who comes in for free. Do you think it's Cook?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? And I think that's a good move. Good move for him, good move for us. So it just seems perfectly logical. Cook out, his place goes to Felipe. I don't see an issue there.
Well, we have someone else in the backstage.
I know.
Yeah.
Cooey!
Do we want him on? I don't know. I'll leave Omai to decide.
Yeah, we want
if he wants
him
to bring
on.
it on.
He's all right.
Guys in the chat, I'm just going to quickly ask
he's wearing a fantastic cap. You got to get him on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave Omai to sort him out. Guys in the chat, I'm putting the Cook question out. Look, nothing is fully sourced on this one yet. Oh, God, here he is. But do you think Cook should leave in this window? And I will say, anyone who says yes, he should go. No one's gonna hold your feet to the fire and say, "Oh, what about what he did last season?" We all respect and love what he did last season, but the loose links right now are about him going into the Championship, and rightly so. There's quite a few clubs within the Championship who sound like they're interested. Ez, good to see you, buddy.
Evening, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, you're looking sharp. You had a shave there. The beard looking quite sharp, mate.
Thank you. I'll do my
Yeah.
best. But you guys
How
have
you-
had an amazing stream. Fantastic how many views we've had so far.
We're still holding well over 300, and
Yeah, guys.
wow, the
Yeah.
time is flying by.
How many likes have we got?
We got over 200 now, so thank you everyone
Yeah.
for hitting that
Well done,
like.
guys.
I
button.
was
Fantastic.
just about to go into one, but I can't complain at 200. That's pretty.
So, 300 would be
Well,
fantastic because
I only come on after 200. I only come on after 200 likes, so I was waiting. So I kind of rather know.
Even Spacebar's hit the like button.
Bloody hell, things are
Hey!
moving. Things are moving. Oh my god, look at all the Ez fans in the chat, man. What is going on here?
Ah,
What
my
is
cousins,
going on?
innit?
The Ez emojis are flying in as well.
Oh,
Big
bless you
Disco
guys.
saying Cook will go to a team chasing the playoffs. Ez, what are your thoughts on this Cookie thing? Do you think it's time to say goodbye?
Yeah. Sentiments aside, he did an amazing job for us last season, but he's not cutting it at Premier League level, and I don't want him to be an option in the back of Cooper's mind. So yeah, unfortunately,
He's not in the
wherever he
back of his
goes-
mind. He's in the back of a van at the minute, headed Stoke.
Oh, it's one of those deals, is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm happy for him to move on and get some football somewhere else. You know, no hard feelings at all. But we need to look forward, and if we're just going to compare what's coming in and what's going out, there's no comparison. Felipe is a top level defender. There's no doubt about that, and I don't worry about his age when it comes to players without quality. We kind of touched on it yesterday, didn't we? When quality's that good, you read the game. He was never known for his pace anyway, but he's a hard, tough tackling defender, no nonsense, very, very experienced, and just those links, the Brazilian links, the Lodi links, I can't fault it really. I can't fault it. And
We'll have two of Atleti's back line. It's not bad, is it?
And one of them's really young, yeah.
Champions League winning backline as well, you know, or Championship winning backline certainly. Who would have thought this? Even at the start of this season, when I made the point that the previous seasons we've been promoted into the Premier League, we've had no money, and we've had awful seasons, and we've gone down without a fight. And this time we're giving it every chance. And I think it was Sharky made a really great point actually on what Marinakis said, on what he kind of promised that we'd be competing. So far, so good. You know, let's just hope that it keeps going. And I can't see how the ones we're bringing in are going to make us any weaker. That's the way I've always looked at it. If he brings players in and they're better than what we've already got, bring them in. Keep them coming.
Yeah, just very quickly, Weed's asking about are we getting ASM? I released a video on it this afternoon, and Shark Horror Spacebar was there front and center in the front row seats, ready with his smile. Eddie Howe has come out today and said he's not for sale, full stop. Even though they've got Gordon, he doesn't want to get rid of him, so he's staying. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure Spacebar will comment on that. Silverware saying Stoke seems the perfect club for Cook. Big physical lumps. I mean, I think he's still got some life in him. I do. What, go on, man.
I just wanted to ask Dino, what's the fee for Cook? How much are we paying Stoke? I just wondered.
Listen, he's been an all right servant for us. He's done
It was
well.
a joke.
Yeah, I know it's a joke. It's fine. Good luck to him.
Absolutely, we love it. We absolutely love Steve Cook. And you know, going forward, we'll only remember the Championship. That we won't remember the put it in the Prem. We'll just remember the Championship winning season. You know, so it's all good.
I hold on. I will defend Cookie for one thing. Yeah, that hamstring. We've had hamstring. Yeah, I know, and I did it at the time, and I'll do it again. Let's not forget. Yeah. In a season where all our players seem to have half a hamstring, that boy's got hamstrings. The way he took that ball down, on that right wing, ball it down like goddamn prime Zidane, and then whips that ball into Iwoni, who does a nice 1-2 off the post against Liverpool. Yeah, for that exactly, Keith. The assist of the season for me so far. So he's just been played in the wrong position. He's a Premier League right winger, definitely, in my eyes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be a very short highlights reel, but what a highlight reel!
It's a 3-point highlight reel, mate. It's a 3-point highlight reel. Absolutely. Okay, what we'll do, it seems like there's some late joiners here. Dino, do you mind giving us a quick 30 second to a minute update on the status of all the players as things stand now? We've had some movement, etc. Do you mind doing that, Dino? Just giving us a quick
absolutely not. I won't go into as much detail. John Joe Shelvey is coming in. He's passed his medical. Felipe is also being announced. I think I said 2026, but it's not. It's a 2-year deal. as he's a centre-back from Atletico Madrid. He's now confirmed as a 33-year-old. Ones that are close, Angelo Gabriel, who's 18-year-old from Santos. He plays on the right wing, but can also play cam. Brenner from FC Cincinnati. The source there is Tom Boger, who's a reporter in the MLS. He's a goal scorer. He's a poacher. Very good showboater. Good finisher skill. Not tall, but they're the ones that are really close. Rumours links that aren't really coming. Romain Saez, he won't come. Navas seems to be off. For those Spence fans out there, of which I know there's a couple in our group, he's off to Rennes, I think, on loan.
Yeah, he is.
And the outs, Toffolo's going to Anderlecht on loan. Cook may be going to Stoke. And Lewis O'Brien could be hijacked by Sheffield United rather than West Brom. And then Konate, youth player to Oxford, on loan.
On the Inter Milan chap, he is not leaving Inter Milan this window. He will be staying till the summer. Although he's had his fallout and the contract talk has stopped, he's staying. So by de facto, won't be coming to Forest, Colin. Hopefully that helps you out on that one. Okay, so tomorrow, the plan is, guys, we'll have the transfer videos during the day. I don't think I'm going to spam you with as many videos as I did today. You'll be pleased to hear. I think we'll do maybe 2, unless something crazy breaks. In the evening, from either 8 or 9 o'clock, we'll decide between us, and obviously we'll let you guys know. We're going to be live. We're going to have the FFTV high press team at the stadium, checking in on the signings, hopefully talking to some people, getting some interviews in. We'll be bringing you guys live from the City Ground. It's going to be amazing. Well, at least in my mind, in our minds, it's planned out. It's going to be great. Hopefully there'll be some interesting signings through the door. At the moment, I think we're up to speed on everything. I don't think too much more is going to break there. So I think it's probably a good time to call it a day on the stream. I want to thank you all in the chat for your interactions, your comments, your jokes, everything like that. It's been absolutely fantastic. Let's give the chat a round of applause. They've been absolutely fantastic. We love you guys. We're at 360 odd in here now. It's absolutely crazy. You know, it's just brilliant stuff. That's probably woken a few people up. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Hang on, Wolverine. Hang on. Can we go back and give the chat a round of applause?
Did we do that?
We just did that, but okay.
Hannah, are you delayed today? Honestly.
Yeah, are you on the Guinness? Are you on the Guinness, mate? Is he alright? Anyway. Alright, guys, on that note, Ant needs to go to bed. I don't know what he's doing. So.
Please, Omar, take those.
That's how it's meant
off,
to happen.
All right, you can see it's about to get crazy. Guys, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Thank you to the new members, the new subscribers. We'll see you on the... We're not going to boo you, Spacebar. We know you're a red inside.
No,
we know it. We know it.
Put him down the middle. He's a red.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow on the live video, and then in the evening, the real fun begins. This was just a warm-up. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. And come on, you Reds.
Likes.